Well, hello. Thanks for coming back to check out another video. So, we are here today to sit down and talk Project Level Up. I am super excited. So, I did ask you guys, kind of just give me your feedback in my Pan Those Eyeshadows, reintroduction video. What do you want to see as far as eyeshadow painting content to go along with Pan Those Eyeshadows? And I feel like as I'm sitting here tonight, the majority favorable response was please do Project Level Up. I just feel like this was such a great project and you guys really seem to be enjoying it. I really enjoyed doing it. I was just torn between which one to do, so that's why I asked you guys. And I secretly think deep down inside I really did want Project Level Up to win the majority votes. I was really happy once I figured out that that was kind of the consensus or the way that the voting was going. I like Pan That Palette, but I think I more like the idea of Pan That Palette because I just have so many palettes and I want to touch as many things as I can. And I feel like you can do that when you're doing Project Level Up. Whereas with Pan That Palette, you're really hyper focusing in on just one particular palette. So I hope that you guys are excited to join in along with me. Before we pick our palette and everything like that, let me first tell you that this was, of course, created by Sofie, Alexandra. I'm going to have her channel linked down in my description box, her personal playlist for Project Level Up, and I'm also going to have, I believe she has a community playlist of everyone else that is doing this. So all of that will be in the description box, and I'm going to leave my playlist linked in the description box as well because this was, like I said, a project that I had started earlier this year, I believe sometime in February. Okay, so the rules of this basically are you either randomize a palette or you pick one out yourself. So your level 1 palette, you have to use every eyeshadow within that palette one time and hit pan on one shade. Then you can move on to level 2, and so your level 2 palette, use every shade 2 times and then hit pan on 2 shades. I think you get the idea. You go all the way up to level 5. Now, Sofie did say you can go past level 5 if you want, but I don't know. I just feel like that would be kind of torturous, using every shadow 6 times and having to hit 6 pans. So I personally, once I meet level 5, will reset myself back down to level 1. And as far as I'm aware, I believe that's the way everyone else is doing this. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I have decided to randomize my palettes this go around, and I've put all of my eligible palettes into the Tiny Decisions app. So like I said, this was something that I did start back in February. So I've already completed levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. My level 5 palette was my Adept Cosmetics palette. That was Heather Austin's palette. I did hit 3 pans of eyeshadow within that palette, and I did successfully use every shadow 5 times within that palette, if I'm not mistaken. However, much like with Pan Those Eyeshadows, I just want to refresh with this project. So I'm just going to start back over at level 1. I have put all of my palettes into the Tiny Decisions app, even the ones that were already featured within this project pan. So for instance, I believe my level 1 palette was my Natasha Denona Retro palette. That's still in the list. We're just going to start over, brand new. I was about to say new year, new me, but we are still in the year 2022. So I hope that that's okay with you guys, that, maybe we'll get a palette again that we've already had in here. But I still just think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I am super excited to randomize my palette with you. Okay, so I do have the Tiny Decisions app on my phone here. I think the ring light is going to glare it out just a little bit. But like I said, I have all of my palettes listed in here. And as we use a palette for a level, I'll take it off of the wheel. Ooh, BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I promise that's what it is. Maybe I'll take a screenshot of it just so that you can believe me. But let me go grab that palette. Okay, I could not be more excited because I still really love this palette. I know technically it's been dethroned by the Bubblegum palette from the Sweet Shop series from BH Cosmetics, but Blueberry Muffin will always have a very, very special place in Haley's heart. So I'm going to open this up for you guys. However, the background of the Blueberry Muffin palette is super holographic, so it makes it hard to digest this. So hopefully what I can do is roll a close-up clip and a swatch clip for you guys. And we'll just kind of talk over some things. So I do already have 1 pan in this palette as we sit here today. It comes in the shade Yummy. Such a pretty icy taupey purple shade. Just absolutely love those. So yeah, the other shadows in here, I do have some good dips on some other ones. So the Decadent shade, the 350 degrees shade, the shade Cravings, which is a shimmery shade. Tempting has a little bit of a dip on it, and then so does Fluffy, the last peachy matte shade within this palette. So maybe it's going to be one of those that we hit pan on. I'm not quite sure. I do know my two most underutilized shades within this palette would have to be Baker's Dozen, which is just a matte black shade with like purple glitters in it, and I just don't like shadows like that. And then Stud Muffin underneath it is like a really dark blue shade. It's a shimmer, but it's a really dark blue. However, I do have a topper shade from my Kaleidos Futurism, what is it, 6? The Lunar Lavender, I think. The shade Moonroof in there. It has like a lot of blue purpleness to it. I feel like topping that off on Stud Muffin is going to make for a really nice eye look. So just super excited to pull this palette out and give it some more love because like I said, it is a favorite within my collection. So I think I forgot to say, like in the introduction piece of this, I'm going to do monthly updates even though within a month, let's just say I didn't meet all of my goals and I'm not ready to roll this out and move on to level 2. Like I still just want to have that accountability. So monthly updates. And then the other thing with Project Level Up, what I would like to do with whatever palette it is that we have in for the level, I would like to put out within that same month like a 2 to 3 looks video using this palette. That way you guys can see it in action. You can see some of the looks that I'm doing behind the scenes rather than just like throwing up photos, which is how I used to, do the updates for this. So hopefully you're interested in that and excited for those kinds of videos too. But yeah, I'm just really excited. I feel like this video was a little bit chaotic and a little bit all over the place, but what else do you expect from Haley? So I appreciate you so much for sticking it to the end and putting up with my rantings and my ravings. I hope you're having a good day, a good night, or a good whatever, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.